Welcome to Dr. Manjit Kaur's Desi Wellness Kitchen. Another new concept fighting obesity, making you aware कि protein खाने केड़े वधिया आंदे ते चीकने खाने ते जेड़े carbohydrate है क्यों आपां उन्हां तो बचिए ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮੋਟਾਪਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਔਰ body fat ਜਾਂ ਢਿੱਡ ਤੇ ਵਜਨ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਬੱਖੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪੱਟਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਬਟਕਸ ਤੇ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਥਰੂ ਅ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਆਈ ਹੋਪ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਐਂਡ ਇਸ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਆਦਾਬ जय श्री कृष्णा जंबोसाना ते वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह निगा स्वागत इन डॉक्टर मनजीत कौर देसी वैलनेस किचन पिनिया दी तां सारी दुनिया दे विच हलचल मच गई उस तो बाद बहुत वधिया वधिया खाने तुहाडे वास्ते लैंदे आ रहे हैं थ्रू सिख चैनल जिहड़े कि बहुत मैनूं साथ दे रहे उन्हां दा अति धन्नवाद एंड नॉट फॉरगेटिंग द टीम बिहाइंड दिस जिहड़े कि असीं इन्नियां सीरीज शूटिंग कर रहे हैं एंड खासकर हरजीत सिंह who's been amazing and so warmly you know being patient कि कुक शोज़ दे पिछे बैकग्राउंड विच ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਜਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਕੱਟ ਕੇ ਧੋ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਹਿਲੋਂ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਟਾਈਮ ਬੜਾ ਕੀਮਤੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੇਂ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ ਤੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨ ਮੂੰਗੀ ਤੇ ਮਸਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਮੂੰਗੀ ਦੀ ਦਾਲ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਔਰੇਂਜ ਦਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਲੈਂਟਲਸ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਚ ਲੈਂਟਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਇਹਦੀ ਛੁੱਲ ਤਾਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਮੂੰਗੀ ਦੀ ਦਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੀਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਛਿੱਲ ਉਤਾਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਸੋ ਅੱਧਾ ਕੱਪ ਇਹਦਾ ਤੇ ਕੁਆਟਰ ਕੱਪ ਇਹਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਤੀਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਕੇ ਬੋਇਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਦਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਰਿਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਗੁੱਡ 25 ਮਿੰਟਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਪਲੇਸਿਸ ਆਫ ਯੂਕੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੋ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਸੌਫਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਦਾਲ ਛੇਤੀ ਰੱਜ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਪਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ 3/4 ਕੱਪ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੌਲੀ ਆਫ ਮੂੰਗ ਬੀਨਸ ਸਪਰਾਊਟਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੂੰਗ ਬੀਨਸ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਹਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨ 700% ਮੋਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਲ ਸ਼ੋਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਉਂਗਰਾ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਂਗਰਾਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੇਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਣੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸੇਕਣਾ ਆ ਪਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਹਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨ ਸੰਗਤੋ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਰੇਡੀਏਟਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਹਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨ ਸੋ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਬੇਸ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁੜਕਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਤੀਲਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਔਰ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਖਿਲਾਣਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਆਮ ਟ੍ਰਾਈਂਗ ਟੂ ਪ੍ਰੋਮੋਟ ਨਾਟ ਹੈਵਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਮਚ ਬ੍ਰੈਡ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਰਬੋਹਾਈਡਰੇਟ ਚਿਕਨੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਔਰ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਈਕਰੋਬਾਇਓਟਿਕ ਫੂਡ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਖੁਸਖੁਸ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਪਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਧੀ ਕੌਲੀ ਖੁਸਖੁਸ ਤੇ 1 ਕੌਲੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਲੋ ਹੀਟ ਤੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਲੋ ਹੀਟ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੋ ਹੀਟ ਤੇ ਪਕਾਣਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਤੇਲ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਰਿੱਝਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 2-3 ਮਿੰਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸਖੁਸ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਜਸਟ ਅ ਟੇਬਲ ਸਪੂਨ ਆਫ 올ਿਵ ਆਇਲ ਜਾਂ ਰੇਪਸੀਡ ਆਇਲ ਮੈਂ ਪਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਰੇਪਸੀਡ ਆਇਲ ਕਿ ਜੁੜੇ ਨਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਬੇਸ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਹਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਢੱਕ ਦੇਣਾ and basically it needs to go on very low heat cooking so number 1 ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹਾਈ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲਿਟਰਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਬੰਦ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ so while the couscous is being done I think I'm going to take it off the heat and just leave it here because obviously we don't want it to catch the heat onto my kitchen lovely red kitchen but inviting into my kitchen is my amazing friend who's been a great support for obesity we are thinking on the same platform welcome back Helen to another concept of healthy cookery show obesity Sat Sri Akal there you said it so beautiful welcome to my kitchen again and a concept of lentils with sprouted mung beans
oh wow
so yellow and orange lentils obviously high in protein and mung beans which are sprouted just going to give them a bit of a heat there as you can see different colors there and 3 red chilies just to bring in a bit of a zing and a ting but here I've got my couscous ready as well which is ready to be served with a microbiotic food into my lentils. And so I'm going to bring the pan onto my hot plate, which is electrically operated, adding in sesame seeds. So if you give me some sesame seed oil, which is here, and measure out 2 tablespoons, and we're going to do a base for the lentils, 1 and 2. Sesame seed, very high in vitamin E.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, yes. And it's got a great taste. I've been promoting grapeseed oil a lot, but in this concept of obesity, we are looking at sesame seed. So pouring in some cumin. So we'll have half a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of that, and half a teaspoon of mustard. Drop it in. That's it. There we are. Amazing. Look at that. And some mustards.
And just half a teaspoon of this?
Yes, half a teaspoon. Do you know, next to Chinese takeaway, Indian food is now rating at the same speed of purchase, of ordering every day. And 8 million pounds of papadum are sold a year. Really? Nobody knew that papadum will be so well appreciated. But, you know, that is more glorified and very creamy-fied food. This is real. Yeah. This is a conversion of Indianish, Westernish kind of my way of trying to bring children back into the cooking show. And back into concept of healthy food. So I'm going to get you to do me a bit of a stir with a wooden spoon. So this is a base I'm getting ready for the lentils, which are cooking, and never overcooking too much. I'm going to reduce the heat down.
Well, I've just driven from central London over to here this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I actually lost count the amount of burger shops and kebab shops.
Yes.
And fast food shops. There was just hundreds of them.
Yes.
Hundreds.
Sometimes in one parade could be even up to 15.
Yeah.
Well, in the whole of Southall, running from the Southall Broadway from one end to the other, there are about 20 sweetmeat shops. They sell sweetmeats, which have, you know, each bar of some sort of dairy milk will have about 3 teaspoons of sugar. And heavy fat. Here I'm going to toss in green beans because they're going to take longer to cook. Okay. And this is going to be sort of a quick turnaround of recipe, but telling people how we can make lentils not so boring, because children get very bored with traditional lentils, which is something used in India. Even in winter, it's warming. And Hungarians, Sankto, use or make the first dish on New Year's Day. Hungarians make a lentil dish. Oh, wow. This one. Yeah. This is their first starter of the day, like welcoming themselves into the new year. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, there you are. You just found out something.
Well, I know in the Middle East they use a lot of lentils and you know, beans.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really interesting because, you know, you think that the amount of different oils they cook with that would be very fattening, but it actually it doesn't have that effect on the body.
Certainly, yeah. Dropping in some mushrooms as those are being done. We leave them to set down. Let's not stir it, so then they can sweat on their own. Just leave the mushrooms to sweat. And we're going to cover it up a bit. No, these are just the brown chestnut mushrooms. Okay. A lot of people have just sort of geared up to button mushrooms. You know, they are shiitake mushrooms, but those should be eaten more with some sort of savory roasted foods, which will come to. I've done lots of cook shows. I hope all your English friends will be tuning in.
Absolutely. They'll be asking me to cook all this delicious food for them.
So something different for Christmas from Helen. She's going to be doing the Indian concept of her Indian vegetarian turkey non-meaty.
Do you know what that would
without killing the bird.
Well, that would be so refreshing because, you know, every year we have the same meal, and it's actually, you know, I know it's tradition, but we said we can't break the tradition.
Let's stir that in. Now, give it a bit of a stir, just in the hope. Yep, sure.
So you leave the mushrooms to sweat first?
Yeah, just let them to sweat a bit, but not too much that they lose their body. Everything, you know, is about live food, and how do we reduce obesity is because people are malnutritioned and the micronutrients from the foods are destroyed with high heat cooking. And this is what we are projecting is definitely try to, you know, cook on low heat, but keep the body in the food. While the lentils are done, I'm going to toss in the tomato puree, which has been purified before, you know, to save time. So if you can give that a good stir. Adding in a heaped teaspoon of ginger. And then we're going to toss in the tofus to bring it the flavor. This is now firm tofu. This is not the soft tofu, Helen. Firm tofu.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you about a 3/4 teaspoon of salt.
Oh, this is the lovely pink salt.
The pink salt. She's converted. Tomorrow, the first purchase Helen is going to do is pink salt.
I actually really like pink and purple.
Really?
Anyway, so.
Okay. Okay. I'm adding a bit of cayenne pepper to give it a bit of a zing and a ding. So I'm going to use the back of the spoon because it's a bit narrow, the bottle. And just going to increase the heat because we're going to add in the parsley. So we can up the reading now on this one. Cooking with the heat control is so important, Helen. Yes. This is the biggest problem. Children think that they can't cook because they don't know how to control the heat of food. And, you know, a lot of people, sometimes 28-year-old girls before marriage, their parents say to the in-laws, Harjeet, that if you give my daughter an egg, who's 28 Punjabi girl, she will burn it. She cannot boil an egg.
Really?
Now, that is shocking, and this is true. It is happening where girls are actually probably thinking education is the only thing, and then beautification and hairdo and nailification and manicure, pedicure, the lot.
Yeah.
That's more important than having, you know, to learn food. But there was one thing I did do with my children. I did train them to cook from the age of 16 to 18. They were actually in university cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that boys as well as?
Yeah, boys. Yes, definitely. Both my boys. The younger boy is very creative in cooking. I'm really proud. In fact, I get intrigued when he rings me up how he's made a recipe, and I wondered, oh my God, how did he learn that?
Oh wow.
I'm tossing in a sweet potato.
Okay.
Again, not potato, because this is a big problem trying to get Punjabi community, especially from high carbohydrates, you know. And here I've got my couscous ready. Before I called Helen on the floor, which is set, if you can see. That's beautifully set now. So it's ready to garnish and all.
What have you mixed with the couscous?
I've just added in a few diced tomatoes, and I'm going to add in sun-dried tomatoes now, just to give it a bit of a more bouncy flavor. Yeah. That looks glorious, doesn't it?
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And in no minute in time this was done. Yeah. And what I'm going to do now is toss in the lentils into your pan and leave that everything to amalgamate together. As you can see, it's been simmering. The lentils, the mung beans sprouted, that is high protein food. Going to switch this off for safety. Doesn't seem to want to switch off. Okay. There we are. I like to do that too. I never like to waste food. Yeah. Okay. Just give it a good stir. And I've got my couscous ready here, which I'm going to actually garnish kind of thing to make it exciting. Because people think, couscous is very bland, but you can make it very interesting. Adding in 1 tablespoon of sun-dried tomatoes, which are very rich and radiant in color, in vitamin C, and sun-dried tomatoes are, you know, really bouncing with antioxidants. Look at the color; it suddenly changed, isn't it?
It suddenly makes it a lot more inviting.
Yeah. So people are so bored by having lentils, but here I'm not going to add any more colors. I can add more tomatoes or some tomato puree to freshen it up, but I like it the way it is. Some things need to be left natural, as you know. Well, let's switch this off now.
The green with the beans is coming through.
Yes, can you see that? Yeah. And there's a dish ready to be served. I'm going to have my guests now to be tasting. That was good, wasn't it?
Good timing.
Wow, fantastic. So I'm going to actually pour out the couscous. And I'm going to get you to taste this on the side. Add some lentils with tofu into this bowl separately for you to taste. And I need you to give me a verdict of this dish. And giving you some amazing setup of some salad, avocado.
My favorite.
and some variety of lettuce, because it's so important to have colors, and lettuce is high fiber. Okay, let's get you a spoon. And I need you to give me a verdict while I clear all this away. And
do you want me to try the couscous on its own first? Or?
Yes, you can, because people get very put off by couscous thinking, oh, it's very bland.
The tomatoes is beautiful.
It really kicks in, doesn't it? Yeah. It's really just getting used to knowing things. Now you need to give me a verdict of the lentil tofu with mushrooms and green beans.
Delicious.
Lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Beautiful.
And you can taste, and this was an amazing concept, viewers. Another new concept with my lovely friend who traveled all the way again from Poole, Dorset. She's amazing. Thank you so much. God bless you. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you'll harbor this and watch Sikh Channel in future. Take care of yourself and each other. This is an amazing concept of obesity with Dr. Manjit Kaur, again on a mission to bring awareness across the worlds of UK, Europe, Asia, America, and Africa. I am going to say goodbye to you, and we are going to say Sat Sri Akal. Sat Sri Akal to all the viewers. मैं सारियां दी फतेह चाहनी है, and namaskar. Take care of yourself and each other. Goodbye. God bless you, and koheri to all my Rafiki of Africa. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਮੂੰਗੀ ਦੀ ਦਾਲ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ orange ਦਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ is lentils, ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਚ lentil ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦੀ ਛੁੱਲ ਉਤਾਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ. This is green ਮੂੰਗੀ ਦੀ ਦਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੀਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ, ਔਰ ਇਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਛਿੱਲ ਉਤਾਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ. ਸੋ ਅੱਧਾ ਕੱਪ ਇਹਦਾ ਤੇ ਕੁਆਟਰ ਕੱਪ ਇਹਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਤੀਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਕੇ ਬੋਇਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਦਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਰਿਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਗੁੱਡ 25 ਮਿੰਟਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਆ. ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਪਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ 3/4 ਕੱਪ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੌਲੀ ਆਫ ਮੂੰਗ ਬੀਨਸ ਸਪਰਾਊਟਡ, ਔਰ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਈਕਰੋਬਾਇਓਟਿਕ ਫੂਡ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਖੁਸਖੁਸ ਹੈਗਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ. ਪਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਧੀ ਕੌਲੀ ਖੁਸਖੁਸ ਤੇ 1 ਕੌਲੀ ਪਾਣੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਲੋ ਹੀਟ ਤੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਲੋ ਹੀਟ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਰਿੱਝਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ. ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 2-3 ਮਿੰਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸਖੁਸ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਜਸਟ ਅ ਟੇਬਲ ਸਪੂਨ ਆਫ olive oil ਜਾਂ rapeseed oil. ਮੈਂ ਪਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ rapeseed oil. If you give me some sesame seed oil, which is here, and measure out 2 tablespoons, and we're going to do a base for the lentils. So pouring in some cumin. So we'll have half a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of that, and half a teaspoon of mustard. Drop it in. That's it. There we are. Amazing. Look at that. Here I'm going to toss in green beans because they're going to take longer to cook. Okay. And this is going to be sort of a quick turnaround of recipe, but telling people how we can make lentils not so boring. Dropping in some mushrooms as those are being done. We leave them to set down. Let's not stir it, so then they can sweat on their own. Just leave the mushrooms to sweat. The tomato puree, which has been purified before, you know, to save time. So if you can give that a good stir. The tomato puree, which has been purified before, you know, to save time. So if you can give that a good stir. Adding in a heaped teaspoon of ginger. And then we're going to toss in the tofu to bring it the flavor. This is now firm tofu. This is not the soft tofu, Helen. So I'm going to give you about a 3/4 teaspoon of salt.
Oh, this is the lovely pink salt.
The pink salt. I'm adding a bit of cayenne pepper to give it a bit of a zing and a ding. So I'm going to use the back of the spoon because it's a bit narrow, the bottle. I'm tossing in a sweet potato. Okay. Adding in 1 tablespoon of sun-dried tomatoes, which are very rich and radiant in color, in vitamin C, and sun-dried tomatoes are, really bouncing with antioxidants.
Delicious.
Lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.